It is the end of day one of the first test between India and England. And for more, I hand it over to Yashasvi. Please explain what has happened.
So we saw a new invention today, jazz ball. Definitely we did.
Chess ball.
Jazz ball. Just
Jazz.
to make it sound
Jazz.
like bass.
Like baseball.
Yeah, that's
AajTak.
why. Just to
Make
make
it cool,
sound.
make it
yeah,
cool.
make
Yeah.
it cool and Gen Z-ish termish. That's why.
So not
Jazz.
chess ball, but jazz ball.
Jazz ball. 76 of 70 balls for him. Quite a quick fire knock, like you predicted. Absolutely. My prediction though has completely
No,
gone
I
wrong.
want to know from you that you said at mid innings,
Yeah.
I mean between the change of innings
Yeah.
between India and England, that England were, I give you three options in emojis. ROFL, will they be in ROFL stage? Will they be in a smiley stage? Means okay. After getting 246, ROFL stage, smiley stage like okay, or with a frown.
Yeah.
Three emojis I'd give it. You had picked ROFL
Yeah.
for England. I want to know, are they ROFL now? At the end of day one, they are smiley or they are frown?
England is smiley at this point because
Smiley!
yeah.
No way, they're on a frown.
No, you have to add one more. The other emoji is crying. That one also you have to add.
No,
England will be smiley emoji here.
No
yeah,
way.
I would be okay going in at this point.
No, not at all.
If I'm in the England dugout for sure at this point. I'm not lying. I honestly, because I feel that again, a collapse on such a wicket can come at any point. It could be for England or for India. Same likewise. It's Jaiswal who has played an absolute blinder. He's definitely, I really want him and I really hope and he really deserves 100 moving ahead in this game. But again, one bad half an hour, 15 minutes, one bad session could, I would not rule out a complete collapse also.
No, that's fair. I get your point, and this point well taken that pitches, for one, this pitch is a bit of a lottery.
Yeah.
We saw the way some of those balls were turning. I think where England spinners, and we'll talk about that in detail, is that I think obviously the consistency was missing. Definitely a knowledge of playing in such conditions and knowing what exactly are the lines and lengths you want to hit is a problem. But at this point, I'd say the last session was 110% India's. And if any team should be smiling or laughing at this point, it's the Indians.
No, my point is he's saying he's smiley and a collapse can happen and this can, that or anything can happen.
Exactly.
But if I am England right now and this is something that I'm the captain, I'll tell my team that guys, don't lose hope. No problem. It's not finished the day the way we wanted it to, but this pitch is not easy. We'll come back stronger, get wickets in clusters and we'll be back, which is possible, can happen. But I am asking you whether you, at this point, what has happened, you're saying you will be smiley? If you were England, will you be smiley?
Not a chance.
If you were England, you will be smiley?
I gave
Right.
that other option also.
No, he who went with crying. I may still go with a frown. Frown means I'm disappointed. This is not how I wanted the day to finish, and I think most people will believe like that. If you're an English fan, you're an England player, you're the English media, whoever is covering it, I think the sentiment is going to be common. Yes, they're not going to lose hope. This by no means is an end of the test match. Of course not. In test matches, we've seen much bigger comeback. This is nothing. You are still trailing by 120 plus runs, and it, to get a good 7-8 wickets in 120 runs is not impossible. It is improbable, but is possible.
Correct.
So it can happen, and they're back in the game. Even if they concede 30-40 run lead, anything below 100 run lead also can make a comeback. All that I'm not denying. I'm not saying this is the end of the test match. All I'm saying is, end of day one, you're sitting in the dressing room, taking off your socks and your shoes and going in for a shower. How are you feeling? Are you smiley? You're frown? He says crying. ROFL? If you're ROFL, then you're ROFLing on yourself.
Exactly.
Like, where am I?
See, just like
I
for
took
England.
the frown in a different, I think, yeah. I took frown in a different, like I anticipated it in a different way. Disappointed, definitely. Happier team going inside would be India today at the end of the day one. But if just looking at the sessions, it's still England leading with 2 sessions to 1.
A
no,
session
no,
doesn't
no, no,
matter.
No, see.
You're saying, okay, let me put it a different way. It's a race
Yeah.
and it's a marathon race, as you know, in a test match. But right now, they have run 1/3 or 1/4 of the distance. Okay? Which horse is leading? India or England?
India.
Then that's what I said.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
you
what
said
I'm
that
saying.
they're ahead.
You know, they would be disappointed with what exactly happened with them in this last session. They would be disappointed. India is definitely ahead at this point. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, if for England I'd given that option of that crying emoji, for India it would be that laughing emoji with tears coming out. They
You
would
know,
be in that
do you know why I
situation.
asked him? Because he, by the way, it's his opinion. He was of the opinion from the start that it is Indian batting lineup is going to be in trouble.
No, I said it would be tested. It's a very important
Because they
test
are
for
all out
India.
of form, this and that. But
Yeah.
what did I tell you? My point was that the stronger suit of England is done, which is their batting. Their weak link is their bowling, which we all knew. It's not rocket science. We've all discussed that at length. You played a Mark Wood, who today I realized has first time in his career bowled the first over in a test match.
Correct.
Yes, he's experienced, but first time in a test match he's bowled the first over. Okay, that he was bowling, dollies to Yashasvi off the legs to whip for 4. Clear inexperience. Hartley, who my friend Shashwat was rating as the next Ravindra Jadeja, and you said what you said. Watch out for Hartley. Hartley was hardly present there.
Yes.
Was hardly effective. What the Indian batting showed Hartley is that, listen baby, this is test cricket.
And it's international.
Yeah, test cricket. No, he's not played test cricket.
Yeah.
And international
And
is
he's
only,
barely played much first class.
yeah,
also.
but test cricket is international.
Yeah.
So told you this is international cricket and you're playing in India. As I mentioned earlier, again, as I said, no disrespecting the bowlers. They must be all talented, which is why they've reached so far. They've been picked. Though I would still, I'm a bit surprised that they didn't go with a Dawson. They should have far more experience,
Dawson.
but they did not. But clearly, I think maybe it was an ego issue or whatever. I don't know, because I've read various reports initially before the series started why they didn't go with him. And so then I thought that they've not gone with a Dawson. Maybe Hartley is that thing that we are all talking about. But today is a day for him to forget. Absolutely hammered at all places. See, that's why I say, who was your best bowler on the day? Jack Leach. Because there is no substitute for experience. He's coming off an injury, but Leach using his experience, which is why I said, and Rehan also, some balls that he bowled, we were impressed. But I'm saying overall, when they came out to bowl, I would have wanted the Indian batters to intimidate them, to tell them that you're newbies in test cricket, that we are the boss. Again, irrespective of the form, you mentioned the form of the Indian batting. But I'm saying form doesn't matter, experience in that sense. And these batters needed to show these young bowlers who's the boss. Is just a bit of an irony that you needed a young batter to show the young bowlers
Who's the boss?
who's the boss.
I mean, the batter who start for you is 4 test matches old and who's only knock of note. And we know he's talented. There's no takeaway from the fact that Jaiswal is probably one of the more talented batters in India right now, which is no mean feat, considering we're a country that produces batters by the truckload. But he's 4 tests old. His most noteworthy contribution came in the West Indies.
This is exactly what I really like about Jaiswal is that firstly today specifically he did not let Hartley settle in.
At all.
He did not absolutely from the first ball he took him on. He did not have
First
that,
ball 6
Yeah.
And fifth
And then
ball
fifth ball
6.
six.
and fifth ball 6.
He did not let him
Wow.
settle in at all. And this is exactly what I really like about Jaiswal. T20s also, and now he's showing that in Test cricket also. That fear of failure I don't see in Yashasvi Jaiswal. And again, a lot of credit, like I was giving in T20Is, here also I would give it to the team management that he has been given that assurance that you play your natural game, natural instinct, we are backing you. And that is exactly what you can see, that confidence that Jaiswal has, that really shows that
They've backed him over a Shubman Gill in T20s.
Yeah.
That tells you everything you need to know about how highly they rate him.
Exactly.
But I would want that to continue. Again, I'm never the one to mix formats. I often said that. But I know that there is a good possibility he does not make your T20 team, because when we discussed our 11,
We did, yeah.
you know, you've had to leave him out to fit a Rinku Singh in, and I think Rinku should be fitted in, absolutely. But that's exactly my point. The heart that this boy is showing, now it's not always the performance. Imagine every time he walks out to bat, because he's not established, he's under the pressure. One failure here or there, he could be out. But see, he's showing us his character. And if this boy is showing this kind of fearless character in a pitch which was expected to be very tough, the way he's attacking, I'm saying he needs to be rewarded in all other formats as possible.
Correct.
Because such, again, as you said, talent comes a lot. They could have been far more talented players than him. But this kind of a temperament, this kind of a character that Yashasvi Jaiswal has shown us across format in this limited time that he's played at the highest level, and whatever glimpses we've seen of him in the IPL, because that too is a very high level. I think this boy needs to be rewarded with giving him more and more matches at the top level, and also please in the future, as much as we are celebrating now, allow him a long rope too when it doesn't come off. But I want everyone to remember that when comes a phase where he's not going to be getting a lot of runs, please remember this boy, what he's doing at this stage, risking everything that he's worked so hard for. And so if he does hit a rough patch, remember his character.
We all hope so, because see, the guy at the other end was having a similar great run. December, Jan, Feb of 2022 to 2023 till May. He was as good as anything in this world. I mean, we all labelled him as the next big thing. Jaiswal has begun in a similar vein also. I mean, but there is much more flair, there is much more panache and aggression in Jaiswal, as you may say, compared to a Shubman. Shubman can be aggressive and adaptable, and also play according to the situation.
So they're different players. Jaiswal is definitely more aggressive. Shubman's more silky.
Yeah. And I tell you, that is probably the reason why Shubman, as much as we built him up, and I think he still has a bright future ahead. I don't know, the issue happened with Shubman was that he came in as a technically correct player, the one that we thought could be the test batter that you're looking for. He was that. But then, I'm not saying he got corrupted by T20 leagues, but he had to be successful even in that. Because at this age, why would he not want to be an all-format batter? He excelled in the IPL, he excelled in the white ball for India as well. As you said, for the 1 month, he was your best white ball batter too, for that 1 year, So the thing is, that's taken a toll on his test cricket. Why that may not be the case with the Yashasvi? Because he's pretty much batting the same way, whether he's playing T20, whether he's playing ODI cricket, or whether he's going to play test cricket. So he will not have to adapt too much. In Gill's case, he was the conventionally correct batter, and he adapted himself to be successful in white ball cricket. Now he's having to go back to being that, and I think that's where the trouble is which comes for a lot of batter. In Yashasvi's case, that may not be the big headache for him.
In fact, if you go over all of the batters who are successful all-format players, and there are very few, I think I could count them on one hand.
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli, AB, Chris Gayle, when he played Test.
Oh, you're saying...
I'm talking about not just this era, in general, even a Warner. What is common between all of them? They don't change the way they play across formats. They play the exact same way. It's just the format that changes. Are they playing in whites? Are they playing in colours? And if they're playing in colours, is it 50 overs or is it 20 overs? Their style of play remains the same. Yeah, there'll be a small tweak here or there. But with Gill, it was a massive adjustment, because I remember watching him. His
Sehwag, another example.
Yeah. Correct.
Even your England captain Ben Stokes.
No, but Stokes, I think, is still a better test batter than he is a T20 batter. But point well taken. He's another one. Doesn't really change his style. Sehwag too. Never really changed the way he played. He would be chasing loose balls outside off, regardless of whether it was a white ball or a red ball. That is the key. With Shubman, I remember watching him. Who?
Brendan McCullum.
Baz, of course. Baz, another one. I remember Shubman when he started out in the IPL. I was with KKR, and they invested a lot of money in him because they brought him right off the bat of the 2018 World Cup, the Under-19 World Cup. He was a middle order batsman, but you knew that this guy is too technically correct to be playing in the middle order in T20I cricket. So what do? You push him up to open. Tell him play an anchor role. Then he plays that anchor role and actually does it well. But criticism comes his way. Oh no, he needs to be more aggressive. Well, now he's freed himself up and his test game is suffering.
Yeah, it's much like, he started, if you look at Shubman Gill, he would play T20 cricket, let's say the way KL Rahul played a lot of his T20 cricket initially. But then he switched to playing T20 cricket like Sky or Rohit, in ODI.
Yeah.
Like that sort of, he changed and became that batter. Now he'll find it tough to go back to being a
That
test
batter.
batter like that because of role switching. Whereas Yashasvi, I think the clarity is there. He knows this is me, this is first nature, I'm going to bat like that.
Correct.
Which
See,
is why.
so far, what we are seeing is the signs are very promising. Very, very promising. We want somebody from the under 19 setup to really set the stage on fire. Like how Rishabh Pant did in 2016. Okay. 2016 onwards, he was India's best match winner. Test match winner.
Yeah.
Okay. 18, you've luckily had two guys coming in the batting. I'm just talking about the batting. I'm not talking about the bowling. You had Shubman Gill, you had Prithvi Shaw.
Prithvi Shaw, you cannot consider him as.
I mean, he also started well. He got a century on debut. Let me be
But
very
again,
honest.
I think Shubman Gill's sample size as a whole and Yashasvi Jaiswal's sample size as a whole, it's a lot of difference.
No, I'll tell you, I was just getting into that. See, he had success against the West Indies. Fair respect, they are not, they say, the best test bowling lineup in the world. Okay?
They're not.
They are not, okay?
Prithvi Shaw you're talking about.
No. Both of them, really.
Yashasvi.
He's talking about
I'm talking about Yashasvi. Prithvi Shaw also, by the way, got 100 on debut
Versus
in
West
Rajkot
Indies
versus the
only,
West
yeah.
Indies, okay? But you saw afterwards how his career kind of has slid down, okay? Yashasvi.
But those are very different factors.
Yeah, it wasn't
which
cricket.
may have
It wasn't cricket, yeah. But in Yashasvi's case, the one chance that he got, I mean, there are also only 2 tests. But in South Africa, on those difficult pitches, he struggled. Okay, Cape Town was a lottery for all. But in Centurion, it was much more truer than Cape Town. He did struggle. Okay, tried to attack. He tried to attack.
He stayed true to his game. At least I'll give him that
but then
credit.
we all panned him for the shot that he got out to Andre Berger. Remember, the shot that he played was bad. The execution was bad. Now here, this bowling lineup, okay, not the most intimidating England bowling lineup. I mean, Leach, Rehan and Tom Hartley combined have only got 20 tests under their belt, if I'm not mistaken.
Of which
Leach has got
Leach has
18 or
played
19.
All.
Yeah.
Oh, Rehan's played 1 test before.
Two
this.
tests.
In
yeah.
Hartley's debut.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's about it. And today, I mean, I'm sorry,
I really
England.
feel sad for Hartley today.
No, you shouldn't, because barring Leach and Monty Panesar, England's treatment of left-arm spinners in their country has been absolutely woeful.
Ashley Giles would like to say hi to you.
I mean, I said after Panesar, Leach, if you look at it, but Giles was before Panesar, no, in that sense. When Giles failed in 2006, Panesar stepped up after that. No, I'm saying, see, after Monty left, who all were there? There was a certain Simon Kerrigan. Kerrigan had a much more bigger sample size in Lancashire. What happened when he came to the Ashes?
Don't compare him to Carragher because his career went nowhere.
One test he got whacked.
That's what I'm
Look
saying.
at what
So
Hartley's
don't compare it to that because that doesn't augur well for Hartley's future.
It doesn't augur well. I'm telling you, Hartley might be on the chopping block for the next test.
No.
Too soon,
Not.
should we say.
I think Baz.
He's so
since
young, 9
not just
overs
that.
old.
Yeah.
And not just that, I think under Baz, you've seen him give a lot of players who they believe in longer ropes. Also, and I think we're being very quick to judge a lot of these guys. You have to remember, even last time when the Border Gavaskar was taking place, you had Kuhneman and Murphy. Come on, and a lot of people panned them as absolute no-hopers. 2 tests later, they were troubling you.
Yep.
You mustn't forget, this is someone who's playing his first test, hasn't quite been able to figure out. It's very different. You might be a great seamer in India. You're not going to necessarily go abroad and have exactly
And he
the
was
same
hit for
success.
2 sixes in his first over.
No,
After
but
that,
then
any
see,
bowler will get
Look at
rattled.
what Kuhneman and Murphy did. They kept the simple basics right.
Oh no, Kuhneman in his first test was terribly wayward.
Yeah.
No, Murphy.
No, Kuhneman too. In fact, I remember after the first test, Nikhil had said, I have higher hopes for Murphy.
Yes.
And actually, it was Kuhneman who turned out to be the destroyer. Because
And he
Murphy
got a 7-wicket haul.
Because Murphy was a little more conventional. You could see he was struggling with lines. Kuhneman was all over the place.
But
Similar to Hartley now, actually. The only
No,
difference was- The difference is
Kuhneman, he was much more
Surprised
accurate than Hartley. Hartley shot balls every single time. A shot ball.
Kuhneman was he was not, his lengths weren't the problem, his lines were. He was struggling. And then what happens? It takes a little time to calibrate. And I really doubt you're going to write off a Hartley after one session.
Yeah.
Especially
9
under Baz.
overs.
I mean,
Especially
no.
under Baz.
We are.
No, he comes tomorrow and Shashwat's dream comes true
No,
when he
it's
wants
not
India
my
to be
dream.
dismissed below 246 and it is Hartley who picks up.
See, we are reading too much into the fact that he's hardly played more than 10 first-class games.
I'm not reading too much into anything.
I'm
My point
not
is,
see-
he's not going to get dropped after a test. This is
Yeah,
India.
I'm not rating him highly.
You're looking at a
I wasn't even
Bashir
earlier.
coming back. You'll have one of those will have to go.
I don't know.
So you'll bring no, but
It's that typical that as soon as the team doesn't do well, the one that's sitting on the bench is better.
Bashir from where? I mean, what is Bashir?
I mean, England are caught between a rock and a hard place.
So you're not starting Bashir. You're not starting Bashir.
Today, Root didn't bowl.
Today, by the way,
That is the big surprise.
I felt. I'll tell you why. Just go please to the.
Scorecard.
Yeah. So now, if you look at one thing, taking no credit away from Yashasvi Jaiswal because he's been the difference. You know, Rohit did not have the kind of impact that we are all expecting. Okay, 24 is going to help you in conditions like this where you've only got 246. Maybe Shubman will also have a good contribution, but clearly the difference has been 76. But might I add, not taking anything away from Jaiswal, we've already spoken about how good, how fearless he was, some fantastic strokes. But the English spinners weren't there. You know, poor bowling. I've lost count to the number of loose deliveries that they bowled.
True.
Having said that, it quite often happens that you've had one bad day, as I was mentioning before they came out to bowl, is that even when Indian bowlers go abroad, it takes time for them to adjust to those conditions. And no matter how much net practice you do, it's your play time. When the batter is batting, when the field is spread out, that you get to know what to do. You never know. Tomorrow is another day where the English bowlers sit back, look at their lines, the lengths, where have they earned, and come back with a different plan. And there were certain balls that turned and did trouble someone like a Yashasvi Jaiswal too. So there is their thing in the pitch which could still trouble. What they need to do is go back, recalibrate and look at, you know, how to come back for the next day. This is what they need to do. Why did Joe Root not bowl is
the biggest mystery.
No, but I'll tell you why. Would I, if I was captain, I thought about it. If I was captain, Rehan Ahmed is my regular spinner.
Correct.
He's only bowled 3 overs. Would I risk bowling Joe Root, who again, as much as Siddharth doesn't agree with me, is still a part-time spinner. Would I bowl him ahead of a regular spinner? Had I had more time today, probably I would have got him. But the fact that my one regular spinner's only got 3 overs, maybe another 10 overs left in the day, I could have had an opportunity to bring him. I just felt there weren't too many overs left. Yeah, you could argue, maybe, because Yashasvi Jaiswal was going strong, 1 over suddenly, anytime, 1 over, just to see. Could have. But I also understand the logic why.
Look, I mean, see, this is the particular case. There are certain conventions that you don't challenge. If it's a left-hander, you would want to get a guy who's spinning the ball away. You might induce a top edge or you might get some kind of a thing, a straightener or something. Root, and we stated that he's bowled regularly in the baseball era. And he's troubled batters. And on these kind of wickets, you would need Root's accurate off spin if you were to look at it. And it's a left-hander on strike. You could have operated and two left-armers bowling to a left-hander. That defied convention for me.
See, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking,
why not get the leggy a bit early?
exactly that, or I mean,
And
you
get him
can
to
save
bowl.
control.
No, get him to bowl a few googlies. He was bowling.
And one of them spun.
See, the problem, but would he have gotten the same amount of grip with the new ball? Leggies generally, what happens is with the new ball, they tend to go all over the place. Here he was at least troubling him with the old ball, with the googly or all these kind of things. Getting a leg spinner to bowl, which leg spinner used to bowl with the new ball? Even if memory serves me right, I think very few. Because they couldn't grip it. They would be all over the place, that's why.
Your point's well taken, but the thing is, I think why Nikhil was suggesting it is also because you have an inexperienced spin lineup. It's not rocket science. They selected these players and they know exactly that's the case. So it's not like with India, you have a settled spinning core and one can go and other can come out and you're not really disrupting all that much. With these guys, the most experienced player here is Jack Leach, who not so long ago himself, his test career looked in danger. So you may as well try something a little different. It's not going to harm. Why I'm a little surprised didn't go to Root is because you could have saved your left armers. I would have rather brought on a Hartley when the right handers come into play.
Exactly.
Because your middle order is predominantly right-handers. Shubman, KL, Shreyas. After that, you've got Jadeja and Aksar. That's it as far as the left-handers go. Maybe you would have done no harm. Instead, I feel for Hartley because again, it's a hiding on to nothing. You're thrown on into share the new ball and then decimated.
See, he bowled from the end, okay, which has the smaller boundary towards the leg side.
Yeah.
Okay, about 70 meters, which is okayish. The length of the boundary is okayish. But then see, you float it straight up. You're expecting a bit of purchase. Wham, a 6. And then after that, what happens? He bowls short, clearly suggesting that okay, my confidence what I had coming into the test is gone.
Whatever little I had, because this is a
And
debutant.
not just that, he overpitched, which is why Jaiswal would cream him through the covers. Is it any coincidence that 44 out of Jaiswal's runs have come only of Hartley?
Yeah.
And see, again, we say no, it's valid in T20 format also or an ODI format. Matchups, often we tend to either overanalyze it or underanalyze it. But I think here convention should have played a part. I mean, get a Root in or get a Rehan. But Rehan Ahmed, the leggy, I can understand, he couldn't have gotten the grip.
Yeah.
But Root, who's, correct me if I am wrong, in this entire spin bowling lineup, he's the only guy who's won a 5-wicket haul in India.
Yeah.
So, doesn't convention dictate you that, okay, I want to get the left-hander out? Because see, as Shane pointed out, not until Jadeja you got a left-hander in. An off-spinner getting it straight, who knows, Jaiswal, oh, I'm probably right in my
Think
arm.
what happened to Duckett, Ben Duckett.
Yeah.
He was playing well, playing good guns. Then Ashwin got one to straighten and boom.
I think this is a big blunder that what Baz and Stokes have
think, again, as I said, maybe not too many overs because your regular spinner, Rehan, only got 3. But yeah, as I mentioned, maybe it wouldn't have been a bad idea to bring Root for an over or 2 just to test thing out. But I think the bigger blunder than that, what Ben Stokes has committed, because from here on, he can still rectify it and there is a way back. Let's say, as we said, it's not completely out of their hands, the game. Yes, they're not looking good. India's looking with, in a better position with the upper hand. But the one thing that he's done from where there is no coming back, Ben Stokes, is exhausting all his 3 reviews.
Yeah.
He's done that, which is going to be so crucial going forward. India's only lost 1 wicket and you finished your 3 reviews. Some of those calls were horrendous. Like horrendous. Like from the naked eyes, far away sitting on television screens, you could say that, no, don't do that. He's done that as the joke is going around that probably he's taken baseball too seriously and said that I'll do baseball in DRSs as well quickly. But he's exhausted. What he's forgetting that in spin friendly pitches where there'll be a lots of oohs and ahs and edges and ball turning leg before shouts, a lot of times you would need the DRS to come and rescue you. India also exhausted theirs, but by that time 8 wickets were down. So not too much to lose. England have exhausted it with just 1 wicket down for India, and that, believe you me, is going to be very crucial because 1 or 2 decisions going against them which they could have reviewed would make a world of a difference. Gill maybe at 15 gets a live because you don't have review, gets 75, done. Match is done. Or any other batter, just an example. So I think that's the bigger blunder he's done.
Yep. And also see, now looking at the way how the Indian batting approach is there, okay, what hurt England was the cluster collapses. You lost 3 quick wickets twice, if I'm not mistaken. Twice. Now that made a difference between 246 and a 275-ish kind of a score.
And what was responsible? One, Indian spinners were far better. I agree, far better, which is where I said the experience of bowling here comes into play. One, that, but now you have to question certain shots that the English batters play.
Yeah, you have to.
Because again, you took, the whole thing is about baseball or not. You took it too seriously that you have to keep doing it on situation where you didn't need to take those chances. Maybe now in hindsight, they could have realized that, listen, we could have gotten a bigger total. Maybe they were also fooled like all of us, which thought that 200 is a good total. The approach is get 50 on with the new ball, and we had discussed this a day before the game. Exactly to the T England played. Get 50 quickly with the new ball, and then hope by playing baseball, where you connect a few, miss a few, your rest of the batting lineup gets you 150. In fact, they got almost 200, 190 odd with the rest of their batting lineup, and they followed that plan to the T, which even we thought would have been successful. But as I warned earlier, do not judge a pitch till the time both teams have batted. So now you are seeing with the way India is batting, probably 300 plus could have been, again, too early to say, they restrict India for less, you don't know. But in hindsight, it looks very different. And in hindsight, if they were to ask to bat again, maybe slight change of approach. They wouldn't change from the major aim of batting like baseball, but slight change of approach where you could have had slightly more sensibility pumped into your shots.
I mean, today you scored a total of 363 runs. 363 runs have come on a supposedly tricky wicket in 90 overs at 4 per over. So, it is kind of a flat deck, but I think what exasperated it even more was that the England spinners missed their mark.
I don't think it's a flat deck.
No, it's not
Yeah.
flat.
No,
It's
no,
definitely
it's
not
not
flat.
And that's why I
it's
said a
not
tricky
flat.
wicket.
It's
I said
very
tricky
tricky.
wicket.
It's not flat.
Exceptional batting from Jaiswal is making it look flat again. Same from England, Ben Stokes.
In fact, if you look at some of those balls which even Jaiswal is getting, I remember this one leg break from Rehan, which spun so badly in that I was like, ooh, it's a day one track.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a flat deck for sure. It's very, very tricky because again, those roughs which are there seem to be getting a little rougher. So if you land it there, then you're letting something happen.
And we all
The point is just that it's still tricky, and the only difference or the major difference right now, quality of spinners.
Yeah.
India have spinners who know these conditions like bread butter back of their hand. They're like, listen boss, we know what to do. And even though England probably would have outperformed them better, then they knew they had the advantage of, look, this is a spin department that doesn't have any experience. With Australia, you were at least fearing a Nathan Lyon.
Yeah.
Jack Leach doesn't inspire that much fear. You're respecting him. Respecting is the key word.
Yeah. And also, one more thing. If Ben Stokes would have seen what Rohit Sharma's captaincy evolved around. When Duckett and Crawley were going on, did they employ a left-arm spinner to Duckett?
No.
No. Who got him out? Ashwin, an off spinner. When the left-handers were bowling to a left-handed batters, I mean, Jadeja, who took him to the cleaners? A left-hander.
Ben Stokes?
Why? Because in that same arc, the shorter boundary, he could free his arms easily. Now, if that wasn't an indication, then I don't know why. Opening with Hartley, I mean, I'm sorry, you have thrown him into the deep end. First debut.
You've thrown him to the dogs. Simple
And
as.
you've given him the short boundary, a left-hander on strike. Good luck, my friend.
No, I don't know. I would not. Firstly, I think Yashasvi Jaiswal used sweep. I think is a go-to shot for him, and he has really used that really well. I think that has really been an advantage for Jaiswal. Secondly, as far as Hartley is concerned, see, I compare that with Yashasvi Jaiswal. If Yashasvi Jaiswal would have come out, he would have gotten catch out going for the shot. We would have said the same thing that we have the Indian team gave him this message, and he has now thrown away his wicket. Same with Hartley. The difference here only is that it worked for Jaiswal and it did not work for Hartley.
That's why I think, see, you needed the right batters, the right bowling options at the right time. And giving two left-handers, when England know that they have got two left-handers, and you're having a left-hander at the top, you needed some flexibility. I think England lacked that flexibility.
Or if you were going for that left-hander, why not let it be Leach? At least then you can say you're falling back on convention that, listen, he's our most experienced spinner. And even if there was a left-hander there, we felt he represented the best chance, which is fair.
I mean, again,
Poor
Leach, poor Leach, deja vu, he said, okay, I got hit by Pant, now I'm getting hit by Jaiswal. It would have been the worst of both worlds for him. But then yes, the respect would have been there much more. I mean, the chances of Leach getting a false stroke out of Jaiswal was higher than Tom Hartley.
No, I think Tom, we are just ruling him out too soon again. I think he was given that confidence. It did not work for the English side today. Yeah, it did not. But again, it's a test match.
I don't think it's about ruling him out. I'm just saying you gave him, the whole point is that why is it that in sport you always try and ease in youngsters? This is the opposite. Yeah, here's the new ball kid. Go there, bowl to the Indian batters who know how to play spin. One of them being a left-hander. No, terrible.
No, but a rare commodity, you know that left-arm spinners usually do tend to be a little problematic for the Indian batters. It could have been it was a gamble which could have worked for them.
That's what I'm saying. If the left-arm thing, maybe Leach would have been a better option.
The experience factor.
Who got the one wicket today? Leach.
Okay, no, you're entitled to your opinion. Don't have to agree. Stick to what you want.
But Rohit Sharma now, two notable innings where he's gotten out playing the lofted shot. I mean,
ball spinning away.
Yeah, he played a lofted shot of Maxwell in the World Cup final, and now he's played a lofted shot to get rid of
different
Leach.
format, different.
But
thing.
still,
the series is just getting started.
But it was the same kind of a shot and same kind of.
One went to cover, the other went to long on.
No, but there he did.
There it
There was
was
unnecessary risk. Here he had to take that risk. Didn't connect that.
Well,
he knew it as soon as he hit it.
There also we can't call it unnecessary risk. I mean,
No,
you
no,
got
it
those
was.
runs,
You had got enough
those
runs.
runs that way only.
In
whole
that
tournament.
over, Baba, he had got enough
Yeah,
boundaries.
he had gotten 14 runs, 1-6
Yeah, but
and
also
2.
let's give a
Exactly,
little credit to the way that catch was taken.
Oh.
Yeah.
The catch that won the
100%,
match.
But
Phenomenal.
you shouldn't have given that chance.
Yeah,
But
that's
it
the
was
thing.
his day. He even mentioned that I would
And
not
head
have
always
taken
has his
that.
days against us, yeah.
No,
And in a
he has
major
his
ICC
days-
event final.
Yeah, in the finals.
Okay.
It's we who.
Let's turn our attention for so long not being able to go to that. Please cut to it, Shivam. Shivam, our producer, wants us to see what Kevin Peterson's timeline looked like on X. So he started with England are batting, 459 for declare today.
That's a bit
That's how
much.
he started. I'm sure it was tongue in cheek. Clearly, he was there at the ground, so he's not even sitting miles away. He knew how the pitch was. He clearly didn't mean 490, 450 for 9.
yeah.
He didn't mean that. I think tongue in cheek, just poking the Indian fans a bit, having a good time
Clearly.
on X, which is okay. Poking, essence, he's a big Rhino fan as well.
Oh, yeah.
One horn Rhino, I can see. Is it the one horn? No.
No, it's a 2-horn.
That's a
horn.
2-horn,
The
but I think-
African.
But he is, I think, spoken up in great this
Yeah,
thing
it-
about the preservation for the one horn, if I'm not mistaken, is it?
Maybe one horn was endangered at one point, but now they have enough.
Yeah. But
and
he
that's
is-
only found in India, I think. One horn.
Nah.
India, Bangladesh. I mean,
In Kaziranga, I think it's
yeah, but
there.
in that whole belt, so even in Manas, wildlife, and all of that.
Okay.
Anyway, that's not the topic of discussion. Then his mood changes to bloody hell, might be a 2-day game. So it just took about 3 hours for him to change his mind from 450 for 9 declared to might be a 2-day game. But guess what? Both are wrong.
3 hours, 22 minutes later.
Third time he's trying to be lucky, and he did not pass any comment and said, Jaiswal, let's leave it at that.
With a nice little starry emoji.
Yeah, star emoji.
Nobody will
yes.
debate that. So neither is going to come true. I doubt now also. I know test matches can turn on its head quite often. 2-day test match doesn't seem like
I
it.
think
Not
my
even 3 days.
estimate of India having an 80-run lead is also very conservative.
3-day could be. What do you mean?
It could
You're
be a
saying
3-day.
4-day already, you're saying?
Already?
Not already, but yeah, it could. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes.
Yeah. But
Most likely it should end by the 3rd day, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I thought you were saying no
no,
chance.
no,
for
no,
it.
no, no. That's not what.
Of course.
I mean, the closest, if we look at that, the closest thing England came to taking a wicket was by this. Ben Foakes just absolutely decimating the stumps with the throw from, I think it was Duckett or Pope.
I don't know who it was, but clearly he's not been keeping any wickets for a while.
Yeah.
He's lost his bearings.
Yep. Yeah. Oof.
Okay, any swal we got?
Yeah. Reminds me of Jaunty Rhodes, the way how he demolished the stumps against Inzamam, Brisbane, 1992.
Flying.
Yeah. I think it was voted the best cricket photo ever taken.
Yeah, you know who took it? It's a Hindu photographer.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
the business photographer.
I don't know.
I
the
know
name.
him. Yeah,
Ah.
Krishnan.
Wow. Okay, Shivanshu is like saying, Hartley's first class and list A records are terrible. He was picked because of height and high release point. He doesn't even start for his county. He was a matchup pick.
Exactly the problem with these matchups. And that's why I said Dawson. Again, I don't follow English cricket day in and day out, so can't comment. But even for a casual follower of English cricket, because we know everything there is to know about Indian cricket, so you know. But with English cricket we don't know. But I would have thought, I actually thought when the team was announced that they'd look at Dawson. But then maybe, again, giving them benefit of the doubt, more than the matchup, what I also heard is that he's now, I don't think he's taken the central contract and he wants to play T20 leagues.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it was ECB not wanting to select him or he already sending signals that, listen, I'm not available, I'd rather ply my trade in T20 leagues and make money there than go play a test series, which is now slowly and steadily becoming a reality.
Yeah.
So if that was the case, then no complaints for ECB not picking him. But if that wasn't the case, then I can't find a reason why you would go with a Hartley ahead of a Dawson. No sense at all.
Dawson on these kind of wickets, I mean, if you look at it, who was the left arm spinner in 16-17? That kind of worked the oracle for England. I don't think there was a left arm spinner in 16-17. I mean, I have to check because, see, the problem is, that's the whole point. I mean, the guy not having played that much of first class cricket in England. And this is where I think changing the entire culture of your structure is a problematic thing. Because see, England have been told that you have to do it in this way. But then you are also risking one huge factor. Your bowlers might soon go extinct then. Because most of your bowlers like Anderson and Broad came through the county system.
Yeah.
And you are totally decimating that. So that's why it's a big problem that we see.
So is this the news that's just coming in?
Yeah.
Okay, so news just coming in. Player of the tournament at the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup was of course Virat Kohli, as you know. He has now also been awarded the Men's ODI Cricketer of the Year. I'm not surprised.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Was there anybody else?
50-50 for me.
Maybe a Rohit could have been in contention, but that's to the extent of it.
Not surprised. He did have an outstanding year. And usually, like it happens in football awards, the ones who do well at the World Cup get the Player of the Year as well. And he did have an outstanding World Cup.
Yeah.
He did. No surprise there as well.
None whatsoever.
Okay, please can you take us to Swals? Yes, please. Shashwat.
Fit Monk. England's going to miss James Anderson's experience here a lot. Playing four spinners is a suicidal move, especially if three of them are coming to India for the first time.
So this is the baseball tactic that is veering now towards suicidal.
Who's the three spinners? No?
No.
They're
Four
talk-
spinners, he said.
No, he's saying playing four spinners is bad, but three haven't, only two, no? And one of them isn't here yet, Bashir.
Bashir, yeah.
What?
Leach has played in India, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Leach is played.
Leach is played.
Hartley is not played.
Hartley is the only
Hartley is
one.
And Rehan's not
Oh,
played.
Rehan, I forgot about Rehan.
Rehan's not played.
He was here for the World Cup, but that was a
But then he didn't play.
yeah.
He
He wouldn't play.
No, he's right. And I agree with that point of Jimmy Anderson. The way Wood bowled today, one decision is right that, they went with that one pacer. You could have gone with both. Sometimes that also works, that go with your best bowlers rather than look at conditions, especially if you do not have that much experience. But I think I would still not fault them for playing. But I would have still gone with a Jimmy Anderson ahead of a Wood. With his experience, could have got you that early breakthrough of Jaiswal.
Correct.
Yeah.
He got you that. Maybe this game had a very different complexion.
Because
Don't
I
know
think-
where India would have been standing.
Because with India, the major problem with the batting right now in recent times has been the middle order. You know that the middle order is a little fragile, so get to that. The problem was you didn't get to that because Jaiswal went bonkers.
I mean, you have to feel for Anderson. In the baseball era, he's been very hard done. Because the pitches that he's got is flat. He himself stated that if you give me these kind of pitches, they're my kryptonite. I can't do anything about it. And this is a guy you're sitting on 686 wickets.
Let me get to that magical 700, please.
I think now with this kind of a situation, it's not happening for him.
Comment of the day goes to Tripti Dimri. She says, England currently fuming that Hartley's visa was processed without problem.
Let's not
Tongue
be
in
harsh.
cheek.
I don't want to be harsh.
It's in
on
good humor.
Yeah,
Develop a
Tongue
sense
in
of
cheek,
humor.
yeah.
Don't take it too hard. We know you're supporting Hartley, and I agree with you. Let's not write his, I
as
don't
a
want to
whole
use that
player,
word.
yeah.
Let's not, pass a judgment about his entire career. We don't know where it goes from here. May he have a good career going forward. We wish him all the way. We don't know. He's not had a great day. He's not had a great start. Test cricket, agree. But that comment is humor, yeah.
Just generally.
For me,
Laugh about it.
For me, it is Simon Kerrigan Part 2, Avatar 2 loading for me.
Possible.
Just feel for him. He would be going in the room thinking so much about what all bad happened with him.
Why should I feel about my rival who I'm going to pound to dust anyway?
No, I'm talking about.
Not talking about you.
No, I mean, I'm talking about Hartley. Why should I or
he's
anybody
saying, why should
feel?
I feel for him?
It's your prerogative.
Yeah.
I've got the opponent down and not going to feel sorry.
He's right. He's also right. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you
fine.
also
Two different
right.
people.
Yeah.
He feels for him, not had a good day. He's saying, no, I'm an Indian fan. I don't feel for him. Good.
This is Test cricket, friend. It's not a county Saturday leisure thing that you have to just come and you'll inflate your records. This is how you have to
Talking
go
like an
about it.
Aussie,
Yeah.
like Alan Border,
That jive to,
Dean Jones.
yeah, you weak Victorian.
Yeah. Bashir.
He called him, spelling him by the wrong name, yeah.
Bashir, no. You're saying Bashir would be happy? I didn't go. a young kid would want to come and perform, test himself.
Exactly.
And by the way, can I tell you, every sportsman, whoever youngster first time, always thinks that I'm good enough.
Yeah.
So he'll never think like, oh, thank God. He'd be like,
No, he'd probably say I could have done better.
yeah, but your mindset changes. If you go and then you get hammered, then your confidence takes a beating. I agree. But initially, when you're going there, you're like, nahi, boss.
Then I'm the best thing since sliced bread.
It happens, like I'll give you an example. Like when we play our matches, Shivam does not get any overs to bowl. But in his mind, he's thinking, let's see, if I had got an over, I would have helped my team win.
Yeah.
But then if you have a team
Everyone
like,
thinks like that.
team like that we had in the PCF game, if they come, then you know that
But even then a bowler thinks. The one who's not bowling,
Yeah,
you're
that-
getting hammered, he's getting, and I'm waiting. I was like, देखा सबको मार पड़ रही है.
No, but-
मैं होता.
But
I
even
would-
after you have bowled,
then you realize.
yeah, then you
But
realize.
that's my point.
It's
But he's talking
good
about
that-
Bash,
Yeah.
who's not come here, right?
Who's not even here, not trained, never mind
No,
playing.
he's
He's talking
going to
about
reach, I
him.
think.
But so he's talking about him. So
Yeah.
will he be thinking, no, thank God I didn't play?
No, definitely not.
He's going to
He'll
be thinking,
will
if
go.
I was here, I would have got Jaiswal out initially.
Because I'm an
He would have been
offie and
out.
I would have played that matchup
So-
right, something like that.
But you know what is that? There's a saying in boxing, which is a very important saying which you should all remember in your life. He says, everyone has a plan till that first blow lands on your face. So everyone goes into a boxing ring with a plan. I have a plan. मैं ये करूँगा, ऐसे मारूँगा, इसको ये. When you get the first blow, all plans go out of the window.
Yes, and then survival.
Then it's survival. So that's what I'm saying. But before coming, when a boxer is going in the ring, so he's said, nah, I've seen videos, I've planned, this sort of a boxer, I'm going to keep my distance, attack him here. But you start and 30 seconds later you get that first one on your face, boom, then all plans are out of your window. Then you're surviving. Then you're going with anything that comes to you. So
No
that's what
plan
happened.
B, C,
No
D.
plan.
You only see stars. You don't see no.
So
you see
the
no
exact
plans.
quote I'm forgetting about is something like this. Everyone has a plan till they get that first punch.
Till they get punched in the face. I think it was Tyson who said it. I'm not sure.
Maybe Tyson or somebody who said.
Then and again, this is the same guy who used to end matches in first round KOs.
Yeah.
For fun.
Yeah. Oh, he was a deadly boxer. For all his shenanigans off the boxing ring. In the ring, he was one of the most talented boxers ever.
Ali coined the term, right? Muhammad Ali, float
like a butterfly,
sting like a bee. That was Ali,
Even
right?
that he's not coined by him. He stole it from somewhere.
Yeah.
He was a clever guy, Muhammad Ali.
He was.
Yeah.
Cassius Clay.
He had a way with words.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Sai Krushi says, I felt Hartley was thrown into fire by using over-aggressive fields instead of easing him into the
Yep.
I think we discussed that. Venkata Nanduri from the US says, England's bad bowling cause of Yashasvi Rohit. Tomorrow onwards, pitch demons start. Every run will be important. Gill will regret wasting today. Iyer will be key. Second innings going to be crazy. I kind of agree with him that we suddenly sit here and think it's all done.
Exactly.
Test match changes by the session, as cliche as it sounds. A few wickets here and there, and then you're also panicking.
There's always those crucial first half an hours.
You're talking, if a team leads a session, I mean, if they lead 2 sessions, they are in front of a test match. I'll tell you, in 1992, what happened? Sri Lanka, Australia in Colombo. 4.5 days until the second session of day 5. They were well on top. But what happened? They lost a test match by 16 runs. Sri Lanka against Australia. And this was after Australia bowled out for 256. Sri Lanka notched off 547. Australia
I
then
think
made
the biggest example, if you ever want to tell someone, is the
Kolkata.
2001 Kolkata.
Kolkata. You were down for 3 days. On the 4th day, you had that epic stand between
But
Dravid
again,
and
today
Lakshman.
also so many things have changed in these 3 sessions overall also. So still a lot to.
Inning finish and the second inning go about quarter of a distance of their inning.
Yep.
So, I mean,
You almost overcome half the deficit in that sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So plenty to play for. Can we take please questions? Okay. Let's take. You says maybe tomorrow Root might open the bowling. Quite possible. I think they were fearing Rohit, but then when Rohit got out, also you didn't bring Root in.
Yeah.
So every time Rohit got out, World Cup, barring 5-6 innings, by playing lofted shots, then bowlers get him out.
But that's fair. He was always going for an aggressive intent, aggressive approach. So I think that kind of fits. You can't be selectively aggressive. No such thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ek second, just leave it. Piyush Nandre says Gill is batting right because we don't want England to bat second time.
Second day.
Oh,
On
second
the
day.
second day.
Oh, you don't want India
On
to
day.
bat second time also.
Yeah.
No, I mean that could be a possibility. Again, if I am saying that India could very well have a collapse, the other possibility is that they consolidate from here on and probably put themselves in a position where they don't have to bat a second time. Even that is a possibility. So where was my question? But he has moved away from that. So
Terrible.
Terrible,
today
yeah.
Shivam is a bit off. He's not.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Sorry, whoever asked the question.
Piyush Nandre, I think it
We've
was.
lost your question. Okay.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
So he says we want England to bat in the third day, and to do that, we will have to bat at least 125 overs, irrespective of what we score.
Yes.
Fair point.
I mean, you bat once, bat big. Get a lead of 80-100, then England will be under serious pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else you want to add apart from that? No, just one word. Yeah. No, Gugan, further elaborate on it. Nahi. Okay, Web of Tarangi says Ben Stokes could have easily dragged the score close to 270. I so agree with him. Don't know what shot he played, but full marks to Bumrah for clear. I don't know, great bowling.
Yeah, that was very good bowling. Stokes was doing everything right. You needed that one moment of genius from your best bowler, and you got it.
And again, see, I would blame, there were two guys who, I mean, I know that Root threw his wicket away, that Sloxley, but that's the way now he's playing in the baseball era. But Zach Crawley's wicket, in particular, Mark Wood, he had just survived a DRS and he
went
played
for
a
slow.
horrible shot. If he had stayed there, I'm pretty much sure Ben Stokes would have had 270.
Yeah.
Pretty much sure, because he was playing according to the template, because he knew one good ball from anybody, he was gone. But I would blame Mark Wood for not sticking with him. He had just survived a DRS.
And he goes for a hike.
Okay,
Bad.
just come down a little bit, please. Okay, Akash Bhardwaj wants to know.
Who is your favorite earlier test?
So,
cricketer?
previous generation.
Oh, okay, quick one on that. We can move on from there on.
Warney.
A good shout.
Shane Warne.
Dean Jones.
Test cricket, white ball cricket. I
White
agree.
ball, but Dean Jones. I mean,
Test cricket, okay. That's a unusual left field choice because there's so many.
yeah. Or if not for Dean Jones, Martin Crowe.
Martin Crowe, that's a good shout.
Anil Kumble.
Good one.
Underrated shout, really.
I am going, no surprises, I'm going BC Lara.
Yeah.
Always.
If you want to
Always.
talk about favorite bowler, Wasim. Favorite bowler for me. I mean, he was a genius.
I'd go Kirtley.
Ah,
I don't know, I'm a West Indian fan.
Kirtley talk to no man.
I'm going Kirtley. Just the other day, a friend of mine sent me a highlight reel of Kirtley in one of the test matches versus Australia. Oh my God.
Must
Oh
have
my
been
God.
Perth 7 for 1.
I think it was at 7 for 1.
Oh.
Good length, the ball's going woof. Everyone's Stain. Good shout.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dale Stain. Yep.
Dale.
Okay.
GGK.
Will Root surpass Sachin's record? Still has 5 years. Oh.
No, not now. You know why? If he was playing his old-fashioned way, he might have. Now with baseball, he stopped looking at his own numbers.
But actually, because England plays so many tests, no?
Ah.
That is the reason why I think
And
he might have a chance.
I'd done a comparison video. I'll try and find it where I thought my calculation suggested he could. But
Yeah.
it's a good thing to revisit now.
Yeah.
Because that may have been 3-4 years ago. Now let's see where he is. Is
Now,
he
how
on
many
course?
runs Root has? Just if you can just click on him. I mean, sure. Just click on Joe Root and you can see how many runs he's got. He's got 11,445 runs, which is about 4,476 runs away from Tendulkar's mark
Basically,
of
even if you
15,921.
take the 5 years thing, that means he'll need to score 1,000 runs a year every 5 years, basically.
But a good chance he.
But how old is he? He's 33.
33.
He has age on the
No,
side.
he does have age on his side, especially considering he's predominantly a batter, and they might not consider him for other formats in the future. As it is, even
Yeah.
now he barely plays T20 cricket. Even his ODI appearances are seriously
Yeah.
limited. So it's alright.
I think he could, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's possible.
Rahul Ravi Krishnan says, what are your thoughts on playing an additional batsman over Siraj, at least for this match? 3 spinners and a fast bowler is enough. It's an interesting thought because
You're playing 9 batters already.
yeah, but I'm just saying in case you want to, you're not going to lose out much in your bowling by the way. But I think the only problem is in case your one fast bowler gets injured. See, in case of England, they can afford to do that. They've got a Stokes to chip in if you need a few overs with the new ball. Not necessarily all the time, but in case you need. India won't have that. If there was a Hardik Pandya around, maybe things would have been different. You could have. But I agree, I think, with Shane that now you're playing number 9 Akshar Patel. What more batting do you need?
I mean, you could get in Kuldeep and Bumrah, that's it. So 10 batters and 1 pace bowler.
No, actually, with Bumrah 11 also, I don't mind.
I know,
Then
he
it's a decent
hit
batting
35 runs of Stuart Broad here. Come
then
on.
it's a batting lineup. You could do that.
Yeah.
You could do that. Bring in another spinner.
Yeah, but then you'll play only 1 pacer. Then that's about it.
Yeah. You could. Good look at doing that if you do get ranked turners. Sai Krushi wants to know, does Indian bowlers use devices with Australian bowlers used for workload management? They do.
There is a GPS device that
That's
is-
how much you're running now. That's become a norm now. It's having a junior cricket level also.
Yeah.
I know somebody who
So they're teaching them workload management from a young age. I'll pull out of this tournament.
I know somebody who makes those devices.
Oh.
Yeah. In India and so,
Is it
yeah.
different for India or is it universal then?
No, it must be universal.
There's different
I mean,
brands.
Make, I think he's the distributor here or something. Make as in doesn't run the factory, make it.
Okay.
I think he's a distributor here. So they source it from abroad, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same for everyone. Now, as I say, I see in American college sport they're using it. So even at junior level they've started doing it.
Yep.
Okay. Final question we'll take. Kevin Abraham. Will the English now cry about the pitch? I heard KP saying some stuff. It was
4 rate per over day.
4 runs per over.
4 runs
right?
per over, yeah.
See,
yeah.
If
Good
anyone
point,
says
though.
anything at this point, then they're either cribbing or trolling.
But to be fair, England have not. We pointed out in our pre-show. And good thing with Stokes when he came for that toss, he said it's a typical Indian pitch, which was clearly saying that this is what we expected, this is what we've got, and there has been no cribbing from the team.
Yeah.
If you hear from the media and whatever, doesn't matter. They will moan anyway if somebody has to. Somebody wants to be objective, will be objective, and there will be all sorts in media across the world. So you follow that. I think the ones important would be the players themselves, and I have not heard anything from the English camp so far, whether from their support staff or the players.
Yeah.
I think that's important, and that is why they will succeed also. If you keep cribbing about the pitch, let that. And I take you back to BGT. Australia did not. The players did not crib much
At all.
It was the media,
Media.
which is why Australia did so well
Yes.
in the BGT. Every time Cummins was asked, he said, "No, I have no problem. We're playing in whatever we've got," and that's the right attitude.
Yep.
Okay, shall we?
Yep.
Thank you. Take care. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow, no pre-show because we've already discussed what's happened. Tomorrow we come straight live for lunch. Unless, of course, India is dismissed before that, then we'll come live, which is highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, yeah.
When that happens, it's a collapse for the Asians.
Yeah.
Okay, take care. Anything else? Anybody wants to add?
No. I mean, Tripti to me, Lara or Sangha favorite lefty, I'll go for Sangakkara.
Lara.
I to pick Lara.
Of course,
anyway.
Lara.
No, I to picked over also.
Yeah.
This question doesn't even
Yeah, for me, Sangha.
come. Anything, Shashwat, you want to say? You didn't get a chance to say.
No, I did.
No, any point that you think you had to mention.
Can't recall it right now, but yeah, I'll surely write it down and get it tomorrow for the lunch. So.
What if it's a moot point?
Okay, Shane's gone with Sangha. No, I'm asking in general. Any thought about the match? Anything?
No. I think we have covered it.
Speak now or forever.
Till
silent.
tomorrow morning.
Bye bye. Take care. Good night. Shubhratri. Vanakkam. Nandri. Shabba khair.
See you.
Bye.
Do whatever you want to do, but
Yeah.
do not trouble your mother.
Yep.